Hey, Chuck.
Yeah.
I feel like we're forgetting to do something.
Oh, shit.
Hello and welcome to the Nerd Card. I'm Phil.
I'm Chuck.
And yes, we have been neglecting She-Hulk, so we're going to lump a few together.
I wouldn't say neglecting. I would say, being completely honest, we didn't have a lot to say about episodes 5 and 6. We'll talk about them a little bit, but
sure.
We're also not going to be those guys that are just negative and, because we don't get something or identify with something, slam it, right? We're not going to do that. So we decided collectively to wait until, there was something for us to talk about.
Yes.
In the episodes. So if that took 2, if that took 3, if that took 4, that's what we were going to do.
That's what we were going to do. At worst, we were going to let it get to the end of the series and do a wrap up. Yeah. But something happened in episode 7 that we really wanted to talk about. So we'll get into that in a little bit. First, I want to touch on the 2 that we missed prior to that.
5 and 6.
Which got into what the She-Hulk show was supposed to be in the first place, which was kind of a law procedural.
And I think go ahead. I think there's something else going on too.
I was going to say that's where they lost me.
Well, yeah, I think part of the show, not a part of it, a large part of it is Jen Walters finding her place in the world and finding herself.
Certainly, yeah.
While I think that is a topic that a lot of people can relate to, myself included, I can relate to, finding yourself, what's your place in this world. We all go through that,
sure,
right, at some point. She's doing it through a very much as from the female perspective, which again, I'm not a female and I've never been. So some of the stuff is hard for me to relate to.
Well, sure. I'm also not a Hulk. So that's...
Well, I kind of get that part. You guys, a lot of you haven't met me in real life, but I'm 6'8", 400 pounds.
That's a big dude.
So people look at me like they look at, the Hulk, not thinking maybe I'm going to, break their car or anything, but I might eat their lunch or something. So I get stared at a lot, so I can kind of relate to that whole thing.
Sure.
But, a lot of the other stuff that's been going on, being in a bridesmaid, I've never done that.
No.
It's just been a lot of stuff that not easy for me to relate to.
And that's understandable. What we did see out of those episodes was she went kind of trying to find someone to tailor a suit for her, like a super suit.
So she doesn't look like, what does her friend say, look like a football player.
Yeah.
Who doesn't know how to dress.
Who doesn't know how to dress, yeah. She seeks out this superhero fashion consultant, essentially, who designs super suits.
Where you see one of the cool things that happens in 5 and 6, you see Daredevil's helmet.
Yeah.
In his shop. And it's a tease at the very end, and that's all you get. And probably ain't going to get Daredevil until the last episode of the season.
I can't imagine we're going to. He would have shown up by now, right?
I would think.
You would think. Episode 6 sees her going to a wedding, being a bridesmaid, and Titania shows up.
Yeah. And Titania's in 5 also.
Yeah, well, she is.
There's the court case where she sues her and trademarks her name.
So let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about Titania as a villain.
She's just a fan.
It's not that it's poorly acted. It's not that the actress is doing a bad job with it. It's just a low stakes villain.
Yeah.
It's anticlimactic. I thought she was going to come in and be the big bad of the whole series, and she's been a minor nuisance, quite frankly, to She-Hulk.
Well, so far in this show, over the 7 episodes, I think a lot of the cool stuff has been in the background noise. It hasn't been the main part of the show. The guy who keeps trying to get her blood, for what reason they've not disclosed, I can only assume it has to do with super soldier serum, which is where the Hulk becomes the Hulk from. It has to have something to do with that, so they're now interested in becoming a Hulk, a controlled rage monster, like she's done, like Abomination has done, like Smart Hulk is now.
Sure.
That's got to be what they're after.
Maybe a Red Hulk.
But you only see that for bits and pieces here and there until episode 7 again, but it's still not much. It's a couple minutes.
Exactly. Episode 7 for me was my favorite of the 3, obviously. I mean, we talked about
this
that.
Is why we're filming.
Emil Blonsky's being back.
Obama stay.
Yeah, Obama stay. I mean, funniest part of the episode, right?
You see it behind him, Obama stay.
But we also see the Porcupine and Mamble and a smattering of other like C-list, D-list,
minor characters.
But all of them with a history in the comics. The whole time I'm watching that, what I'm feeling is James Gunn's Suicide Squad Peacemaker, where he's taking, you know, kind of the bottom of the barrel stuff, putting them together and making them be funny. And it kind of, I don't know, it felt like a little rip-off-ish.
I'm sorry, you said Peacemaker, and I just
got
disturbed.
Well, he does that. I liked Peacemaker. I liked it a lot. Oh, I thought it was great. But it was the same vibes, bringing that crew together of D-list. You know,
I thought it was funny. To me, that comparison, I didn't get that at all. But
that's because you didn't finish Peacemaker.
Because it was bad. Real bad. But anyway, I really enjoyed the Obama stay. I really enjoyed the Abomination. I really enjoyed Tim Roth in this series whenever he's on.
He's so great.
He's been great. And the Abomination and that whole thing they got going on is fun. The transformation of Jen Walters and finding her ways become clear that that's what the whole show is about, right? And that's
Certainly.
cool and totally appropriate. For an MCU overall fan looking for the connection to Phase 4 and further phases of the MCU has been very sparse. And
sure.
You see that in 7 when, you know, the dude who she gets with ghosts her, and only because, well, he was working for the guy trying to steal her blood, the Hulking.
He's trying to get that blood.
That's all he was trying to do, which is why he ghosted her.
That's terrible. I was holding out hope for her.
Yeah, me too. I like Jen Walters.
Yeah.
I think she's fun. A fun character, and it's you don't like see her going through struggles. I mean, because nobody likes to go through struggles in life, and I never like to see my main characters. Hopefully, she'll overcome. That's part of the drama, right? You have to go through struggles then to succeed. I mean, that's stakes. That's how you do a show. But for the overall connection to the MCU, that's the only stuff you're getting. You know, little speck of Daredevil here, a little bit of Hulk in the beginning, a little bit of this guy, and then the rest is
Abomination
her finding yourself.
True.
Through a procedural law show.
Yes, and so when they got away from the procedural law, we were both sucked right back in. I really enjoyed the 7th episode.
Yeah,
5 and 6, not so much.
Yeah.
So, anything else?
No.
In that case, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up on She-Hulk episodes 5 through 7. Yeah. Join us for the remainder of the series. We will check out the remainder of the series.
Yeah, no, we'll be here. It might be 1 episode, might be 2. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. Hopefully Daredevil happens sooner than later, and that'll be fun. In the meantime, I would like to remind you to check us out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of that good stuff. Remember, likes are free. Yeah. Comment below, let us know what you think, and as always, make sure you let your nerd friends know what's going on here so they can join in the party as well. And with that, we will say, what's on your nerd card?